E4G Talks, an ICT initiative which promises to get inspiring stories and brilliant speakers on board each episode. I am Shavendra, the brand head of this show, and we are currently showcasing the spirit of womanhood of our Choose to Challenge series. Please welcome our guest, Ms. Shikha Gupta, with huge experience in diverse fields. Hello, and it's pleasure to have you on the show today.
Thank you so much for having me at E4G Talks. E4G itself gives you those shivers. It's an absolute honor to be talking to somebody from the Defense Services. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. So we are in conversation with Ms. Gupta, but before that, I would like to present a brief about our speaker. Well, she is head of talent acquisition Winwire Technologies. She's an HR leader with 18 years of rich and diverse experience in the areas of talent acquisition, campus, lateral, and leadership, HR generalist, learning and development organization, employee engagement, and HR business partner of functions. She has been instrumental in developing, leading, and streamlining the HR and recruitment function with a proven ability to enhance operational effectiveness and meet organizational goals with cost, time, and quality parameters. There's so much that I read about you, and I am really feeling so nice to, talk about your achievements. She also holds a master's degree in human resource management from AIMA CME. For a large part of her career, she has been actively involved in campus hiring, technology and non-technology across premium schools and colleges. She loves to interact with millennial generation and is involved in coaching and mentoring the future of our country. She has also been engaged in providing corporate trainings on soft skills, personality development, and French language. Well, that's super interesting to read. And she is currently the president of Karnataka Human Resource Council at WICCI. She is registered TED Circles host. She's also associated with NGOs involved in multiple other social services CSR initiative. I swear I couldn't even take breathe while I was talking to about your brief, and it's a wonderful achievement, I must say, and kudos to all your applauds and applauds for that. So without wasting any further time, I want to really talk today a lot on women, their work balance, and many other strategies. So who better than Ms. Shikha Gupta today? So my first obvious question is, what is the importance of work-life balance for working women?
Shani, first of all, thank you for a very generous introduction. It felt really good hearing it from somebody else. Women, I think work-life balance is important for everyone, but especially women, because women are juggling with a lot of things, right? Work, family, home, children, elders, right? All of that. A woman is the center of everything, right? Center of the heart, center of the house. She manages a lot. So it is absolutely very, very important to manage time, right? She also has 24 hours, just like anybody else. Manage time and plan and prioritize. I think these are the three aspects which a woman should focus more on, right? And at the end of the day, before you end your day, before you end those 24 hours, that me time, right? That half an hour, 1 hour, 2 hours for yourself. What is it that you want to do in terms of your pursuing your dream, your passion, your chit chat, your free time, your hobbies? That's very important. But then going back to managing time, plan your day first thing in the morning. Yes, 80% can be planned, 20% is always, hodgepodge kind of a stuff, priorities, urgencies here and there. Plan your day well. If possible, slot yourself into different time slots. This is going to be office, this is home, this is children, this is kitchen. So planning to a certain extent will help. And that will also give your other large family members a feel of, what your day looks like. So they also can probably align their schedules accordingly, where everybody can join hands and help you in the domestic stuff. So planning helps. And once you plan and then you decide which task is more important than the other in terms of prioritization. What is both urgent and important and needs to be attended now, or maybe in the next 2 hours, versus what can move towards the evening or towards the night, right? So once you prioritize, that also helps. And these days, we are not these days, it's been what, 18, 19 months, everybody is working from home, right? So the entire ecosystem runs as per your planning, people cooperate, each one of them shoulders responsibilities to a certain extent so that the woman is not stressed. So I think planning and prioritizing are the two key things that she should focus on. And me time, of course. Yeah.
Absolutely. When you said planning, for me, I always tell my team that, your maximum time should go on planning. Executions will be smoother after that, because if your planning is poor, results are really going to be bad. And I really like the word me time. That's what we always forget doing it, We are always juggling between the task, and the me time is is a long forgotten aspect of our life. That's really nice. And that's what, if we don't give that time to ourselves, I'm sure the outputs will be, affected because of that. Yeah, so while I was reading about your profile, I also, of course, you're the, HR specialized expertise. So there are a couple of things that we always come across in our interview. So how does one justify a career break during an interview? That's a very trivial question, which is generally asked.
But a very important question, that, and a lot of people hide it, some people fake it, some people over justify it, exaggerate it. My simple submission to anybody, especially women, is just be honest about it. Everybody needs a break in life. A break could be due to a personal reason, due to an exigency, or you just want to take some time off, right? I mean, you've been working for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years non-stop. You just want a 6 months break to discover yourself, to discover life, to discover priorities. So please, I mean, women, anybody, do not lie about your career breaks. Give a valid reason why you wanted it, and probably also help highlight in the interview what you did during those 6 months or 1 year or 2 years, right? Every break is justified, right? And it is, at the end of the day, it is your life. You have to decide how to run it. Yes, HR folks do question all of us. The moment you see a gap in the CV, you're like, okay, she's not working for the last 1 year. Should we hire? Should we not hire? Learning curve bahut zyada hoga. She will take time to shape up. All those thoughts come to your mind. Don't know how well connected she's to the industry. I don't know. Should we invest time? Should we waste time? All those questions come to everybody's mind. But as long as you can justify the break, why you took it, and what you did, how did you utilize that time, I think it's perfectly all right. And a lot of corporates have these women returning programs, right? Large IT services, product companies who welcome women, right? For me, if you ask me honestly, Shari, it's a very win-win situation, because somebody who is on break doesn't have a notice period. So if I like the candidate, she becomes an immediate joiner, right? You take her through the interview process 2-3 days, you offer her, 4th day she'll come and join. So your position is filled, you're good, and then you start working on our onboarding, induction, and so on and so forth. So anybody, listeners, viewers, please be honest about it, why you did it, and what did you do during that time, and show that ability or capability that yes, now you're ready to get back to the industry, give it your 100%, and you are no less than anybody else. Yeah, that would be my submission on that.
Absolutely, there are a couple of insights which you've told. We tend to skip that, or we are so scared to even talk to the in the interviewer, and I feel the break is inevitable at time, but the knowledge, there is no break in knowledge. So, and also I also feel, if in that break, if you can empower yourself, that's what I had personally done during COVID time. Though I was working from home, but I did empower myself with a couple of courses. So that's a brilliant, tip that you've given, that we should work on that.
You've just taken a break. Like you rightly said, your knowledge hasn't taken a break, your experience hasn't, your skill sets haven't. And people who are on break, I have a lot of such folks in my network. They keep reading, they're in touch, they keep networking, and we'll talk about it as we go along. So, like you said, just empower yourself. That's it. Beautiful thought, Shelly. Thank you for adding that.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So, how a women can stay engaged and motivated during the break period, like we are talking about the break period now.
I will tell you my personal experience. I almost took a 10 or 11 months break because of a personal situation at home, right? Somebody was critically ill and I had to be by her side. And she wasn't comfortable with the nurse. So obviously the daughter-in-law of the family, right, has to
Yes.
take up that role. So beyond, taking care of this person who's unwell, right, from a food, medication and all of that, right, you have so much of free time at your hand. Yes, you're not in a position to go to work because this was pre-COVID and all of us were expected to be at office. So I wasn't able to manage both the worlds. I decided to take a break. Now you have a lot of time in your hand. What is it that you do? Don't sulk, don't get depressed, don't get stressed. There are
Stress, yes.
many ways. Yeah, see, mental health or mental well-being or your confidence should not get shaken. It's an opportunity that you have a lot of me time. You can, what is it that you can do? What I did was I formed a routine. I knew between, whatever, 6 and 11 in the morning, this is what I will do, 11 to 1, and then comes lunchtime or whatever. And then afternoon, 2 to 5 or 2 to 6, this is what I will do. So I love a couple of things. I love gaming. I love internet surfing. So I used to do that. Even during those 10 months, I had a routine. So I exactly knew 11 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 6 o'clock, mujhe kya karna hai. So my day was chalked out so that I don't feel, boss, I am jobless. I've been working for the last 16 years. All of a sudden, I'm sitting at home. So the last thing that a woman can do is to get demotivated, is to feel depressed. Don't do that. Please chalk out a routine. Pursue whatever your hobbies, your passion, read, surf, network. There are many things that you can do. Upskill, right?
Yes.
So these certification courses, anything, these webinars, whatever you wanted to attend or whatever you wanted to pursue, right? Which you couldn't do because of those non-stop office working hours. This is the time to pursue all those dreams. This is the time to, live that part of your life which you weren't due to your corporate stress or your entrepreneurial journey, whatever it is. So it is very important to have a routine in place. And 10 months, yeah, you can spend a lot of time, if you have a fixed routine as to what you want to do. Plan your day well and
Yes.
make the best out of it.
Absolutely. So while we're talking about, how to be motivated, so what are the best utilizations during the working day? Anything that you can suggest? Any courses that people can take up? If you talk about HR itself or any other, what do you suggest then? What is the in thing these days? What is the demand these days in the market?
Yeah. So depends on which field of HR you are in, right? There are a lot of these. So in the recruitment field, you have these LinkedIn recruiter certifications, high-risk recruiter certifications, a lot of certification programs, SHRM, multiple organizations which offer specializations, right? You could go through those. Or even if you don't want to go through certifications, I think LinkedIn is a great platform. Network with people, right? Always keep your options open. Read a lot, blog if you can, right? Do internet, read about HR practices, read what the industry is doing, keep yourself busy uh, through training programs, through certifications, anything that depends on the liking of the individual, right? For me, so LinkedIn is not a platform where, you only hop into when you're looking out for a change. Just log in and see what's happening in the industry. LinkedIn these days, especially in COVID times, Shavi, is full of knowledge, plethora of stuff that's happening, which is there on LinkedIn. So, I always had an interest in psychology, I started reading books on psychology or some stuff on the internet, which became very interesting, and human behavior especially. That helped me in my career, right? Because being a business HR partner or an HR role, you need, if you understand the psychology of the people better, it helps you anchor that role better, right? So all sorts of avenues are there depending on your interest. Learn, explore, read, upskill, cross skill, network. All these avenues are there, and you have 24 hours at your disposal to do that. How lovely can that be, to, to take up these opportunities?
True, true. It's just that you have to focus and, uh, uh, make sure, like, I attended a course and a master trainer had told कि he's a Fauji son and बहुत उन्होंने बड़ी cute एक चीज बोली कि हम लोग अक्सर गोली मार के गोला बनाते हैं, हमें गोला मार के गोली मारनी चाहिए. That's a very good thing which he told, and I love that. I really like that quotation. कि हम हर जगह पे गोली मार रहे हैं, then हम गोला लगा रहे हैं. Our goals are not focused, so that's very important. That's a very good thing that you added. So, how challenging is it for the women to get back to the industry after a break? All said and done, we do have to take a couple of breaks or inevitable breaks. So, what strategies does she adopt to get back to the industry?
It is challenging. Trust me. हम आपस में, we keep telling each other, chill out, man, break low, this, that. But it is challenging.
It is
Challenging in the sense, yes. Two fronts, Shavi. So first, my personal situation could have changed, right? Somebody's personal situation could have changed. She was a different person prior to the break. Now she has more commitments at home or more responsibilities at home. So my personal situation has changed. Right? I think one of the strategies that the woman should adopt is, if I was playing, say, X role, X just being an example, am I ready for the same X? Am I ready for X plus one, which means I can do more, or X minus one because of my personal situation? So when somebody is applying for jobs, be cognizant of the fact that what is your personal situation? What can you deliver to the job role that you're applying for? Second, I think be choosy, right? I have seen people sometimes get very desperate and apply for all of that is available on Naukri.com. Look at your skill sets, your competency, wherever you feel you're a best fit, please apply for those jobs. Choose them and apply for them. Choose the right opening. That should be the second thing. Third, I think reading about how to crack an interview, right? Some interviewing tips. Building on self-confidence is very important.
Yes.
I think that is what gets shaken with women. And the longer the break, the more the self-confidence gets shaken, right? Building on that is very important. It could be through a workshop, it could be through some coaching, it could be through some self-grooming, or if you're married, a lot of husbands are a very good anchor in life, to give you that space to rebuild it for you. I think even fathers for that matter, right? Seek that help that you need. And last but not the least, when you're getting back to the industry, you have to make a resume which is relevant, right? So please read what the industry needs. And like I mentioned in my previous point, that you have to bridge that gap during the break period, what the industry wants versus where you stand. Once you bridge that gap during your break period, please update your CV to suit that, and then start looking out for a job based on that updated CV. I think these are the 3-4 points she should keep in mind, especially what kind of a role am I ready to do now after a break.
Absolutely.
What I was doing before I went on a break.
Absolutely. Upgrading yourself is very important. That's when you will be in consonance with what is happening in and around in the industry. So, could you just tell some tips for smart resume building? That's another interesting question that came into my, that I thought I should ask you.
I see so many of these, Chevy, day in, day out. That's a part of my role. I think quickly, a couple of things that come to my mind. One is, a resume cannot be a book. or it
Okay.
cannot be, you know, some article which runs into pages and pages. I think a smart resume is maximum 1.5 to 2 pages. Balance, you should give yourself the space to explain yourself in the interview, right? It should, uh, the length of the resume is very important. Second, how you structure it is very important. You know, your key highlights, your key achievements, right, should be on top, right? And then you kind of model your experience, how and so on and so forth. So that's important. Third, any other initiatives that you have taken during your education as an extracurricular activities or leadership activities, all of that, that should be a part of the profile. Last but not the least, anyway, whichever job I am applying for or the woman is applying for, every job has a role description. If you think you're a good fit to that job description, right, please pick up points or highlights from the job description and suit it to your resume, so that you know your resume gets shortlisted faster, because you may have that experience somewhere maybe at the bottom of the page or maybe on page 2. Make it relevant to the job description. That's one. And something which is very important, and for me it's a put off, if a resume has spelling mistakes, no matter the qualifications as IIM or IIT or Harvard or Oxford, I will not, I'm quite paranoid about that. Please spell check. Sentence construction, grammar, spellings, all of that play a big role. A badly formatted resume with an incorrect language is a put off. You could be the best of the best, but if you don't know, it's a document where you're selling yourself, you're marketing yourself, so highlight your USPs. It has to be the best of you, and then give space to yourself to explain more in the interview. Don't just go on writing paragraphs and paragraphs. Nobody reads after 1.5 to 2 pages. No HR person does it, at least.
Absolutely, absolutely. So that's a very interesting point that you've mentioned, because most of the time we feel, okay, let's write everything. When I was born, when did I breathe? That's absolutely doesn't make any sense in a resume. And very aptly mentioned that smart resumes will only catch the eye of the recruiter. Otherwise, of course, it will go into the shredding machine, because there the competition is so high and we got to be different to prove ourselves. That's really nice. So, getting back to the industry, some tips on cracking an interview also.
Okay. First things first, put your smile on and your confidence on when you take that first step outside the house. It could be after 1 year, 2 years, doesn't matter. You're still the same person that you were 2 years back, right? It is very important to put your confident self out there. I think second, what the person should keep in mind is it's completely all right to say, I don't know.
Yes.
You know, what we do is just to fill in some answers, we cook up some stories, and interviewers are very smart to figure out, she's just faffing. She doesn't have the subject knowledge. It's okay to say, I do not have in-depth knowledge, or I'm not very aware of it. But yes, given an opportunity, I have the capability to learn, to showcase, to perform, and so on and so forth, rather than, uh, exaggerating and stuff like that. Third is, please do not lie, right? When you're talking to an interviewer, anything that you're presenting, support it with data, statistics, logic, right? It makes USPs, right? Say, for example, if you're in a sales role, right, business development or sales, talk about what kind of revenue targets you've achieved in the past and how have you done it, right? So every role has its own USPs, right? So talk about those, don't, and support it with data and statistics so that the person knows, this is your caliber. It's also important to highlight some testimonials. If you have customer appreciations in the past, if you have appreciations from 360-degree feedback, what people say about you, it's good to highlight those things in the interview. And I think last but not the least, it is very important just to be genuine. You are
Yes.
who you are, right? This particular job may be suited to you, not suited for you. You are who you are. If not this one, it will be the next one, right? So it's just a job. never get desperate, never show desperation. If not this one, next one, if not next one, the one after that, right? Somewhere or the other, you have the competence, you have the experience, you have the skill sets. You will make it. If not today, tomorrow, if not tomorrow, day after, hypothetically, right? Don't sound desperate or needy. I think one of the things that I did was personally, I was flexible on the role, I was flexible on the title, and I was flexible on the compensation. I was ready to join one level down or 10%, 20%, 30%. That was me. Because somewhere you need a start. You need to start somewhere.
Yes.
And once you start, perform it and earn it. And earn it and take it. So whoever is in my network, personally, Shavi, I tell people, don't be very rigid. You know, yehi title chahiye, yehi salary chahiye, yehi role chahiye. Don't be rigid. Be flexible. You know, some of these best organizations, large MNCs, offer you a contract role. Start with that. There's no harm. It's always a contract to hire. 6 months down the line, you move to a permanent opportunity, right? So be flexible. Don't, if you're very rigid, it will take you longer to land up into a job. But if you're
Absolutely.
flexible, it's easier then. So yeah.
Yes, because you know, yeah, that I totally in sync with what you said, because you know, eventually if you prove your worth, so you will get upgraded or you will come to the level that you were expecting. That's wonderful conversation, Shikha. I really want to continue talking with you. So many questions, but of course, because of the you know, time shortage, I have one last question that I want to check with you. What are the tips for restarting your career after a break? You know?
Good one. I mean, you are asking me questions which are so close to my heart, Shavi. I mean, being in HR.
I thought it's coming from the expertise herself. That why not encash those moments? You know.
Lovely. Thank you for that. And being in HR, I do have a lot of women in my own network, HR fraternity itself, even outside, right, who have to take breaks due to various reasons because women manage a lot, like we discussed in the beginning. I think some of the things that, one of the things I would want to repeat is, please be cognizant of your current situation, right? You could have, you know, climbed, I don't know, Mount Kilimanjaro, and today you want to climb Himalayas. Are you capable of climbing Himalayas, or do you want to stick to Kilimanjaro, right? So be cognizant of your current situation. Take as much as you can deliver. There is no point in aspiring for too much and then failing.
Failing.
Right. So when I say take as much as you can deliver, and referring to the job role, the kind of opportunity she wants to pursue, right? Be cognizant of your current situation and then apply. Second thing is, yes, you've been at home, you've had 24 hours at your disposal, right? Learn how you will, or think how you're going to manage time once you get back to work, because right now you have all the time to manage everything at home, but every corporate opportunity takes at least a good 10 to 12 hours of your time, right?
Yes.
Customer deliverables and so on and so forth, right? So plan how you're going to manage that time. Third, I think, yeah, you've managed time. Yeah. Third, I think, just do what you want to do. Really, right? Live a life that you want to live. Live a life that you have imagined. Just be you and pursue your dreams. Yes, you will get pulled by different factors. You know, men in the house will say something else. Children in the house will say something else. But finally, go for what you have dreamt of. That is what will give you the real happiness. And if you're restarting your career after a break of I don't know how many months and years, it's best you do what you always wanted to do. Right? So I think those things are very, very important. Because women, you know, Shavi, we are those epitomes of sacrifice, compromise. Right? Everybody else is important. What about me? I need to love myself. I need to respect myself. I need to pursue my dreams. And now that you have dutifully taken this break, enjoyed this period, fixed things at home, now go live the life you have imagined, the life of your dreams, life of your passion. Yeah.
Great, great. That's really nice. Thank you so much. Today my viewers are really going to enjoy the conversation with a lot of tips and takeaways from the interview. And in the end, I just want to say that a lamp doesn't speak; it introduces itself through its light. Achievers never expose themselves, but their achievement expose them. She makes the day brighter. She leaves a little sparkle wherever she goes. Well, that is Miss Shikha for us today on our show. Thank you once again for being a part of this wonderful conversation today and joining us for Choose to Challenge.
Thank you so much, Shavi and Abhishek. Women, all I want to tell you is wherever you go, bring your own sunshine.
Yes.
That's it. You are the light, you are the beauty. Carry it and spread it. Yeah.
Absolutely. Wonderful. Thank you once again. So we wish you all the very best for all your future endeavors. We wish, if anybody who wants to share their story, please contact me at shavi@e40talks.com. I thank all our viewers. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel, E4G Talks, and enjoy today's episode. Don't forget to put your reviews and comments in the section. For more interesting stories, please stay tuned. Jai Hind. Thank you.
Thank you.
E4G Talks is brought to you by ISECI, Indian Ex-Defence Service Employees Chamber of Commerce and Industries. Thanks to its vast veteran network and global and pan-India associates, ISECI can carry out various commerce facilitations and CSR projects across India and the world. Some of ISECI's core capability areas are Skill India, Atmanirbhar Bharat, Digital India, any ex-serviceman welfare or job program, Swachh Bharat Abhiyan related projects, telemedicine and healthcare training and job scheme, Save Water scheme, defense industry SME, MSME cluster and hub development, maritime training and inland water training with job facilitation, Canada study, job and permanent residency opportunity, e-commerce, Andaman and Nicobar commerce opportunities. ISECI's global reach includes countries like Indonesia, Slovakia, Canada, Nepal, Singapore, Rwanda, USA, UK. Above all, it is ISECI's effort to create a veterans brand made by the veterans, for the veterans and made up of the veterans. Every Indian's support is invaluable in this journey. ISECI is a registered society for ex-servicemen's welfare and envisions that every veteran should be a part of India's economic growth story. It is the aim of ISECI to create an enabling commerce platform that will empower and synergize the veterans' talent pool. This is possible only with the support of entrepreneurs, businesses and consultants from civil society. All proceeds, if any, are utilized for the welfare of ex-servicemen and for public charity.